tariffs on pause and a trade deal in the works, plus talks of reviving an old pipeline project.
It's devastating. We know a lot of their staff. We're very close to them. We've built heavy relationships with them.
Fire breaks out at a cannabis facility south of the city. And fancy footwork.
I'd get my conditioning and then I'd get my dancing in, but then they'd both complement each other.
From the dance floor to the running track, and representing Canada in both.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. A major breakthrough in trade talks between Canada and the United States. Last night, U.S. President Donald Trump put tariffs that were supposed to take effect today on hold, and both sides kept negotiating. Federal Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and his American counterpart emerged from their meeting today happy with what was accomplished, but said little about the details. Multiple sources tell CTV News there are reductions in tariffs on steel and aluminum, and LeBlanc did say the supply management system that protects Canada's dairy industry remains intact. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston confirms the PM did ask premiers to return U.S. booze to shelves. Alberta and Saskatchewan are the only two provinces currently selling U.S. alcohol. Now, part of the negotiations could see the revival of an abandoned pipeline project that starts right here in Alberta. The Keystone XL expansion was originally proposed in 2008, and in the 18 years since, the project has seen more than a few political, economic, and permitting problems. But these trade talks have really revitalized the original Keystone XL. Here's Tim Brooke.
The U.S. president wasn't saying much about the Keystone XL pipeline Wednesday.
We had a very good conversation with the Prime Minister last night, and we've come to a deal with Canada.
But Tuesday night on his Truth Social, Donald Trump hinted the project, killed by previous Democrat American administrations, could be back from the grave.
One of the best ways to deal with President Trump's aggression against the Canadian economy is to give him a win, which is also a win for Canada, and that would be a big pipeline going south.
When he was premier, Jason Kenney gave a loan guarantee and committed taxpayer equity to jumpstart XL construction. After the permit was revoked, it left Alberta taxpayers holding a $1.3 billion bag.
Ideally, I would have liked to see this done while I was premier, but you know what? We got a lot of it built. We paved the way. So let's build on that. Let's not just leave that pipe stuck in the ground. It's there. Let's finish the damn project.
The expansion would carry Canadian crude from Hardisty, Alberta to the Gulf Coast. Trump says he's always been on board.
And of course, we saw how the president was willing to invade, frankly, Venezuela over energy. So this has always been a priority.
And experts say the project should be relatively easy to bring online and fill. Some work has already started.
Southbow, which is the company that owns it now, has already entered into an agreement with the American company, Bridger, to revive it. They've already had what we call an open season, where producers contract out a portion of the pipeline. That was very successful, up to 550,000 barrels, and they plan a final investment decision next year.
If built, the Keystone expansion could potentially increase crude exports to the U.S. by more than 12%. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
In a statement, Alberta's premier says she is always in discussions with industry to support pipeline expansion and construction opportunities. Southbow did not respond to our inquiries. Fire crews near High River tackled a massive structure fire at a cannabis distribution facility as it went up in smoke early this morning. No one was hurt, but the impact is being felt across the local cannabis industry. Tyson Fedor reports.
These photos show a cannabis warehouse up in flames early Wednesday morning near High River.
They did try to do a quick interior attack, but it was too hot, too much flame, so they stuck strictly to defensive operations.
The aftermath, facility and business completely lost.
It's going to be a very hard thing to recover from. I feel for them more than anything in the world because that would be such a hard day.
Ariel Freeman runs the Chinook Cannabis shop in High River. She says her store and the Grass Monkeys premium craft cannabis warehouse have worked together to supply product.
We've been working with Grass Monkeys for about 2 years now, so we've it's devastating. We know a lot of their staff. We're very close to them. We've built heavy relationships with them.
Fire crews from Foothills County, High River, Okotoks, and Diamond Valley attended the blaze in the hamlet of Alderside along 82nd Street East around 5:45 Wednesday morning. The intense odor of marijuana filled the air. The blaze was challenging for firefighters to attack.
The fire itself is quite contained within the steel structure, so it's very difficult to fight. Obviously, water has always been an issue out this area. And with our being a rural response, we got firefighters coming from different communities, so the response time is delayed here compared to the city.
Inside, hundreds of kilos of pot that only further added to the combustion. Excavators were seen tearing down the remnants of the facility so crews could access hotspots.
It will impact a lot of people because we don't know how those workers will be able to branch back out into the cannabis industry, which heartbreaks us all.
A cause is still under investigation. No injuries were reported. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Alderside.
The owner tells CTV News at this time he is unsure on whether he will rebuild. A new study shows the debate over Alberta separation has become a prime target for foreign influence. Researchers tracking the discussion have found Russian and American campaigns are trying to stoke division. It's something the Premier has concerns with too. Here's Jordan Canagan.
2 months ahead of a referendum on whether to explore Alberta separation, the debate has gone far beyond Canadian borders.
Well, it's very clear that there is foreign interference.
Researchers at the University of Regina are using artificial intelligence to scan and analyze thousands of websites and social media, specifically tracking the separation debate. They found Russian-based sites attempting to shape the narrative.
Their goal is to have us start to turn on each other, is to no longer see someone who disagrees with you as someone who has a different opinion, who still cares about the country, but is actually an enemy of the country and is no longer, sort of anti-Canadian.
Cypher AI found American influence is also present in the debate, trying to fuel disagreement ahead of the October 19th vote.
Some people pretend to be part of grassroots movements and they try to promote certain issues, but in reality, they actually belong either to a nation state or some groups that have some kind of invested interest in creating divisions.
Alberta's Premier says she's been briefed by both CSIS and the RCMP, and there's been nothing criminal so far, but, quote, we are seeing influence campaigns that appear to be amplified by bot farms that may have a link to Russia. Smith told Omni TV Albertans need to be vigilant so that they're not inadvertently amplifying a message that is being used to interfere in our contest.
And so our effort is basically to identify and point that out in the sort of narratives and even the sources of those in order to be able to ensure that Canadians can have difficult conversations and that democratic dialogue.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Researchers tracking the discussion expect to see online disinformation ramp up even more ahead of the October vote. Elections Alberta is looking to other provinces to fill a shortage of workers needed to oversee the October referendum. 60,000 poll supervisors, ballot box clerks, scrutineers, and other workers are needed. Elections Alberta has received applications for just over half that number. Parts of southern Alberta and all of northern Alberta are significantly short of applicants. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. Look at this summary ensemble we have going on. Very indicative of the last couple of days.
Yeah, and complementing each other, but not as complementary as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow will be cooler, it will be active, and our air quality, not so great. For example, we're looking at being at moderate on the air quality health index. The smokier air is already starting to make its way into southern Alberta, and we'll definitely notice that tomorrow. Also, by about 2-3 in the afternoon, we get into the risk of thunderstorms. This will likely be a very active day for southern Alberta, and some of these cells could reach the more severe level. And it will come in waves, so in the afternoon, then again around the supper hours, then again tomorrow night, and only a high of 24 for tomorrow. Your full forecast is just ahead.
Thanks very much, Danielle. South Centre Mall is partnering with Kids Help Phone to ease kids back to school. The First Day Starts Here initiative encourages encourages youth to look ahead. Today at South Centre, students had the opportunity to write a message to their future selves and reflect on their goals, challenges, and experiences. Their letters will be mailed to them next June so they can look back on their school year.
As we know, back to school can bring up a whole lot of emotions. Some people might be excited, other people might be nervous. There might be fears about us maybe seeing a bully or academic pressure. And so we want young people to know that Kids Help Phone is always here, always open, and always free.
Text support requests at night are up 183% compared to those received during the day. More than 1,500 crisis volunteers are available to make sure someone is always available. If you need help, go to kidshelpphone.ca. Thousands of school-aged kids will be headed back to class with a backpack filled with all of the essentials. Hundreds of volunteers packed the TELUS Convention Center to load up thousands of backpacks with school supplies, snacks, personal care items, and gift cards. This is the 7th annual Calgary Police Foundation's Backpack Drive, which supports Indigenous and marginalized students across Calgary. Organizers say demand for the backpacks is growing. They say even with increasing financial pressures, their donors continue to be very generous.
So to see everybody still come together and give what they have to make ourselves a better community and show our youth that the community are there, they're behind them, and they're investing in their future is incredible.
In 2020, the drive started out with 350 backpacks. This year, nearly 4,400 backpacks will be filled and handed out before the start of the school year. Security has been beefed up at a Calgary culture center. It comes after someone made threats and police were dispatched. We'll have the details next.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Police are asking for help finding a man wanted for fraud and money laundering. Investigators say 2 people hired Mitchell Landry through Facebook Marketplace. He's accused of agreeing to do work, collecting 50% of the payment, but never starting the projects. Police say the 35-year-old uses the name Mitch Ryan online and operates under the company names The Deck Experts and Silverado Lawn and Snow. Neither company is an Alberta registered business. Following a preliminary hearing, a Calgary police officer charged with murder is going to trial. Constable Craig Stothard was charged after 2 people in a van were shot dead following a slow-speed pursuit in 2023. He's facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. The 52-year-old is currently on leave from the Calgary Police Service. Dashmesh Culture Center is stepping up security after receiving a bizarre threat on the weekend. A caller to the center said heavy equipment was on the way to demolish the Sikh temple. It was full of people at the time, taking part in services and community events. The call was cut off, but the same person called back on another number to make the same threat. Police were called and came to the center immediately. Management says it was alarming, but they are open and welcoming to all people.
There are certain pockets that we have to work as a community to engage and, speak about these things. If there are issues, that's our job as everyone to come together. And if someone's maybe not comfortable understanding the role of the community or this facility, if it's welcoming. Anyone's welcome anytime, any place to come here. And we welcome Calgarians to visit and to engage in conversation.
Singh says overheated rhetoric on social media is fueling such incidents, but he says the caller is welcome to come to Dashmesh to learn more about the Sikh community. An American tourist whose off-leash encounter with her dog and a bear will have to pay a fine. Brooke Koski pleaded guilty to having 2 dogs off-leash in Banff National Park. The video of his encounter with a grizzly was posted a month ago. Both the prosecution and defense made a joint submission for a $1,500 fine, which was accepted by the justice in Canmore. They agree Koski had a lapse in judgment and had no intention of injuring wildlife. It doesn't take long watching ballroom dancers to learn they're also very much athletes. So when an 18-year-old Calgary dancer wanted to build strength and stamina, he turned to track and field. Now he's represented Canada on the world stage in both disciplines, and his coaches are helping him go even further. Kevin Fleming has more.
He's been on the dance floor since he was 6 years old, competing in ballroom dance. Now Patrick Bushko is a 9-time Canadian national champion at 18, and he enjoys being on stage and in the spotlight.
I feel like I look very posh in a sense, but I always say like the ooey gooey feeling inside when you're about to compete. And it's just like, it's like the engine ready to go and turn on and just be able to, like, I guess, make people happy.
Michael Radko coaches Patrick and his new partner, Mariana Ravello, in a number of disciplines in the sport.
It's a ballroom and Latin. These are like two divisions. So Latin dances and ballroom. Ballroom waltz, tango waltz, Venus waltz, foxtrot. Latin dances such as cha-cha-cha, rumba, samba, jive, paso-doble. And I think Patrick's favorite dance is samba. Same as mine.
Patrick was looking for a way to build strength and turned to track and field, and his coach put him in hurdles where he excelled.
I'd get my conditioning and then I'd get my dancing in, but then they'd both complement each other because some skills that I gained from dance helped me in hurdles, and then some skills that I learned from hurdles helped me in dance.
After only about a year in the sport, Patrick headed to Eugene, Oregon earlier this summer for the World Athletics U20 Championships, where he won silver.
I think one of the big things that I saw from Patrick immediately was his elasticity. I don't think I've ever seen an athlete be quite that elastic, quite so snappy. So I do think there's a genetic component to that, but also what he's developed through his dance.
Denny Marlin says Patrick is calm entering a race and not nervous, likely because of his time in the spotlight dancing.
I think with the tools that he's developed in this space with the dancing, as well as what he started to learn through track, if he stays committed to that path, I can see big things happening for him.
Both coaches say Patrick's commitment is impressive and he's always striving to be better. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast. We're going to cool off a bit as we head into Thursday, and chances for some thunder and lightning also more likely. Details next.
All right, we certainly got some heat out there today. So just a look at daytime highs. 25 was the high in the city, 26 in Banff, 29 in Medicine Hat, 28 Lethbridge, Brooks, Drumheller. You can also tack on another 2 degrees or so for what it actually felt like with the humidity out there. All right, when we talk about active weather, there's active weather happening right now, and that's the potential right up until about 3 in the morning. And then later in the morning, this will start to creep its way towards the Medicine Hat area. So Medicine Hat may get some active weather, at least in the form of showers, for the early morning hours. But for the most part, most of southern Alberta throughout the day, it is looking like just a mix of sun and cloud. That is until about 2 in the afternoon. 2, 3 o'clock, we'll see some development right along the mountains, and then this will track towards QE2 and Highway 2. It looks like it will come in waves. So we'll have one wave in the earlier afternoon, another wave closer to the supper hours, as you can see here, and then yet another as we go in through the overnight hours. So thunderstorms definitely likely, especially along QE2 to Calgary and down Highway 2 and towards Lethbridge. Again, because we have a lot of ingredients in place, the heat, the humidity, and many other things, some of these storms could reach the more severe level, which means that larger size hail, the bigger downpours, and the stronger wind gusts. So that's tomorrow, and tomorrow we won't get as hot either. All right, when we look at warnings at this point, there's a new one closer to the Banff area. This poor air quality is really starting to seep in now. So we are looking at poor air quality in Banff, and basically anywhere right up along the mountains is where we're looking at poor air quality now and through parts of tomorrow as well. So just to show you what's happening, again, with fires in BC, Washington State, this is circling up and around. So we have the potential of getting some poor air quality in all communities in southern Alberta for tomorrow. Again, the worst of it will be closer to the mountains, but Calgary likely will pop up to 4, 5, even 6, so moderate on the air quality health index tonight and tomorrow. Only a high of 24 for tomorrow, so a little cooler than what we've had, but we're going to bounce back to the high 20s by the time we get into Friday and Saturday. That also comes with stable weather. We don't run into the chance of thunderstorms again until Sunday.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much. Richard Green is back in Calgary, the site of his first Tour Championship win. Next, Glenn Campbell catches up with the defending champ at Canyon Meadows today. It's Pro-Am time at the Rogers Charity Classic at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. Defending champ Richard Green wasn't out there today, but he did chat with our Glenn Campbell.
Richard Green loves being back at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. It's the site of his first PGA Tour Champions victory. Green took down the field last year, finishing the three-day tournament at 18 under par.
This week is just a matter of trying to treat it like any other week and go out there and do my best. It's there's a little bit of extra expectation, obviously, from playing so well here over the last couple of years, and hopefully I can do it again. It'd be really nice to go out there and defend and put on a good show.
The 55-year-old Australian says picking up that first win on the Champions Tour was big for him.
Richard Green has got it dialed in this week.
Builds your confidence to know that you can win out here amongst the guys that play on the Champions Tour, and it's pretty the elite of the elite, if you like, that are playing out here. So to win amongst these guys is pretty good for your confidence.
Green has yet to win again and says it's not easy winning on the Champions Tour. The competition is fierce every week.
Zach Johnson coming out early, he's confident performing. Same with Stuart Sink. They've brought a game with them that is very hard to compete with. The older you get, it's harder and harder.
But that's why Green loves Canyon Meadows so much. The greens are true, and anyone can win at this event.
Richard Green, your winner at the Rogers Charity Classic.
It doesn't really advantage a longer hitter more so than a shorter hitter. It's sort of one of these courses where, someone can pop out and win. And so I think that's why I like it. It's a really good fair test across the board.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
The Rogers Classic starts Friday with the champ crowned on Sunday. And in Edmonton, the Mayfair Club is hosting the CPKC Canadian Women's Open. There's 3 Canadians in the field, including Brooke Henderson, who won this event twice. But Henderson knows the competition will be fierce, as it always is. Players like 3-time champ Lydia Ko are always tough to beat.
I've been really able to use the energy and the atmosphere of all the fans that come out to support me. There's so much love and there's so much just positive energy from them, and I feel like I've been able to use that to my advantage a lot of the years.
Always special to come back to Canada, and hopefully I'll be able to draw back on the subconscious memories for me here this week.
Opening round starts tomorrow and also wraps up on Sunday. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon. Have a great night.